In an unscheduled visit this morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits Gurudwara Rakabganj Sahib in Delhi and pays tributes to Guru Tegh Bahadur for his supreme sacrifice. Senior BJP leader Amit Shah holds a roadshow from Hanuman Mandir to Bholpur Chaurasta in Birbhum, says the unprecedented crowd in roadshow represents angst against Mamata Banerjee. Shah also visits Vishwa Bharati University in Shanti Niketan, pays floral tributes to Rabindranath Tagore. Now the news, COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 95.51% in India. Global cases crosses 7 crore 66 lakh. Britain reverses Christmas plans for millions to fight new COVID strain. And in sports, it's good start to Indian boxing in Cologne Boxing World Cup. Amit Pangal, Simranjeet Kaur, Manisha win gold after getting walkover in finals. In Spanish La Liga, Lionel Messi equals Pele's record of 643 goals for single club, but was unable to help Barcelona beat Valencia in La Liga as it had to settle for a 2-2 draw. Namaskar and welcome. You're watching DD News. I'm Sakal Bhatt and the top story at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today made a surprise visit to Gurudwara Rakabganj in Delhi and paid tributes to Guru Tegh Bahadur for his supreme sacrifice. During Prime Minister Modi's visit, no police bandobast or traffic barriers were put in place to restrict the movement of common people. Guru Tegh Bahadur's death anniversary was observed on Saturday. The mortal remains of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Sikh Guru, were consigned to flames at Gurudwara Rakabganj. On his Shahidi Divas, Prime Minister recalled Guru Tegh Bahadur's vision for a just and inclusive society. Prime Minister, after his visit, took to Twitter to share details about his Gurudwara visit and posted the moments he spent there. Prime Minister tweeted, and I quote, "This morning I prayed at the historic Gurudwara Rakabganj Sahib, where the pious body of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was cremated. I felt extremely blessed. I, like millions around the world, am deeply inspired by the kindness of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. It is the special kripa of the Guru Sahib that we will mark the special occasion of the 400th Prakash Parv of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji during our government's tenure. Let us mark this blessed occasion in a historic way and celebrate the ideals of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji." Unquote. In other news, senior BJP leader Amit Shah today held a roadshow in Bholpur of Birbhum district. The roadshow started at Hanuman Mandir Stadium Road to Bholpur Circle. While addressing the public gathered at the roadshow, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, said that crowd in the roadshow represents angst against Mamata.
जो प्यार और विश्वास है उसको बंगाल की जनता का जो ममता दीदी के प्रति गुस्सा है उसको दिखाता और मालूम पड़ता है कि बंगाल की जनता तय करके बैठी है। दीदी चुनाव के मैदान में आ जाओ, इस बार बारी कमल की है। बंगाल की जनता परिवर्तन करना चाहती है। ये परिवर्तन कोई एक व्यक्ति मुख्यमंत्री बदलने का परिवर्तन नहीं है। तृणमूल कांग्रेस की सरकार की जगह भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनाने की कवायद नहीं है। ये परिवर्तन जो होने जा रहा है बंगाल में, ये बंगाल के विकास के लिए परिवर्तन है, बंगाल को आगे बढ़ाना।
Union Minister and BJP leader Amit Shah is on a two-day visit to the state of West Bengal. The visit will conclude today. Senior leader reached Birbhum earlier and visited Vishwa Bharati University earlier in the day. He also paid floral tributes to Rabindranath Tagore at Rabindra Bhavan and attended a cultural program at the university campus in Shanti Niketan. Amit Shah's visit, remember, is very significant as West Bengal goes to the assembly polls in 2021 and BJP is leaving no stone unturned in its mission to come to power in the state of West Bengal. And while remembering the contribution of Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore in promoting India's art and culture, Amit Shah said that he brought Indian language parallel to international languages. He was the only person in the world who wrote the national anthem of two countries.
गुरुदेव टैगोर ने विश्व भारती और शांति निकेतन के माध्यम से एक और तो भारतीय साहित्य, भाषा, दर्शन, कला, उसका संरक्षण और संवर्धन किया। दूसरी ओर दुनिया भर के कई देशों की भाषा को, साहित्य को, दुनिया भर के कई देशों की संस्कृति को भारतीय संस्कृति के साथ, भारतीय भाषाओं के साथ सामंजस्य बिठाने का शांति निकेतन को, ये विश्व भारती को सेंटर किया है। यहाँ ग्रामोत्थान, स्वास्थ्य, सफाई, सहकारिता, कृषि, ये सारे क्षेत्रों को भी अर्थ जगत के साथ जोड़ने का काम श्री निकेतन के माध्यम से गुरुदेव ने किया।
Amit Shah also paid a visit to Shamabhati in Birbhum, where he had lunch with the family of a ball singer on the second day of his two-day visit to the state today. Let's shift gears and talk about the other important stories of the day. Now, Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh inaugurated the advanced hypersonic wind tunnel test facility at DRDO's Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Missile Complex during his visit to Hyderabad on Saturday. The state-of-the-art HWT test facility is pressure vacuum-driven enclosed free jet facility having nozzle exit diameter of 1 meter, and this will simulate where the match represents the multiplication factor to the speed of sound. After US and Russia, India is the third country to have such a large facility in terms of size and operational capabilities. Raksha Mantri appreciated the endeavours of contributions of DRDO's young scientist labs and said the DRDO needs to focus on next generation needs, including cyber security, space and artificial intelligence, and also evolve roadmaps for the same. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the centenary celebrations of Aligarh Muslim University on 22nd of December 2020 at 11 a.m. via video conferencing. Prime Minister will also release a postal stamp during the event. Chancellor of the university, Mufaddal Saifuddin, and Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank will also be present on the occasion. Centenary celebrations of the AMU are going to take place tomorrow, and this will be done by Prime Minister via video conferencing in the presence of Chancellor of AMU. Now, let's get you some news from Srinagar, where the Union Territory experienced the coldest night of the season so far on Saturday, as Kashmir continued to reel under sub-zero temperatures, freezing night temperatures, the Met Department has said. The valley is bracing up for a 40-day harshest winter period called Chile Kalan in local parlance from Monday onwards, when the chances of snowfall are frequent and maximum, and the temperature drops considerably. The Met Office says while no major snowfall is expected till the end of this month in the Union Territory, there is a possibility of light to moderate snowfall during December 21st, 22nd at isolated places of Kashmir Valley. And from Srinagar, let's move to northeast Guwahati. It is estimated that global water consumption will be highly increasing by the year 2025, and much of this water will have to be obtained from natural systems. Scientists from across the globe have been trying to tackle this crisis by pulling water out of the air. In one such attempt, researchers at the Indian Institute of Technology at Guwahati have developed novel materials that can efficiently harvest water from humid air. Now, the researchers have produced a patterned hydrophilic slip by spraying a sponge-like porous polymeric material on top of a simple A4 printer paper. Further, chemically modulated hydrophilic spots were associated with the floating before the coating lubricating with two distinct types of oils, that is natural olive oil and synthetic crytox. This surface could harvest water from foggy or water vapor laden air without the need for any cooling arrangement. According to the lead researcher, Dr. Manna, IIT Guwahati has produced a highly efficient water harvesting interface where the fog collecting rate is very high. The researchers have also compared the performance of their pitcher plant inspired slips materials to other bio-inspired ideas and have found theirs to be superior in terms of efficiency of water harvesting. It also could be used for other purposes such as easily cleanable household appliances, underwater hulls of ships and submarines to prevent biofouling, and anti-icing windows for aircrafts. And now let's take a look at the update on COVID-19 from across the country. India continues to maintain a very high recovery rate from COVID-19, besides a rapidly declining active cases and a low mortality rate as well. Recoveries continue to outnumber new cases. Coronavirus tally in the country continue its trend in the COVID recoveries. 95,80,402 patients of COVID-19 have recovered so far. India's recovery rate is amongst the highest in the world. India recorded 95.51%. The rising recoveries have led to continuous contraction of India's active caseload. Active caseload now stands at 3.04% of the total number of the cases. And according to the ICMR, the apex body at the forefront of formulating COVID-19, a total of 16 crore 11 lakh 98,195 samples tested for COVID-19 so far. Of these, 11 lakh 7,681 samples were tested on 19th of December alone. And now let's take a look at the global numbers, update pandemic across the world. As of now, more than 7 crore 66 lakh coronavirus cases have been reported worldwide, with over 16 lakh 91,000 deaths reported. Over 5 crore 37 lakh people have recovered from the virus. United States continues to remain the worst hit country by the pandemic so far, with the highest number of infections. The US has recorded over 1 crore 80 lakh cases of the virus, with the death toll surging past 3 lakh 23,000. And the total number of COVID-19 cases in United States has topped over 1 crore 80 lakh on Saturday. The country reported over 2 lakh 13,830 new infections and over 2,452 more deaths in a single day. Meanwhile, the medical system has been under huge pressure, with the number of patients being hospitalized reaching a new record for the 13th day in a row. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration on Friday authorized American drug maker Moderna's COVID-19 emergency use in the U.S. It is the second COVID-19 vaccine that has received FDA's authorization in the country, following the first one developed by American drug maker Pfizer in partnership with German company BioNTech. Meanwhile, Moderna and partners have begun distributing its COVID-19 vaccine, with trucks expected to start rolling out to more than 3,700 U.S. locations on Sunday, as announced by the U.S. Army General Gustavo Perna. The second COVID-19 vaccine approved for use by U.S. regulators will reach healthcare providers by as early as Monday. He also added that delivery of the first 20 million doses of vaccines made by Moderna and Pfizer could be pushed back until the first week of January. Transportation companies are giving priority to vaccines on planes and trucks that are moving holiday gifts and other cargoes. However, it will take several months before vaccines are widely available to the public on demand. COVID-19 is claiming more than 3,000 lives per day in United States. That's alarming, with a total of more than 3,13,000 lives already lost so far. And from US, let's talk about Great Britain, where British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on Saturday reversed plans to ease curbs over Christmas, saying Britain was dealing with the new coronavirus strain, up to 70% more transmissible than the original. He said London and southeast England, which are currently in the highest level of three-tier systems of rules, would now be placed in a new Tier 4 level, similar to those of a recent national lockdown. People in Tier 4 will be required to stay at home except for the essential reasons such as work, and non-essential retail will close, as will indoor leisure and entertainment. Social mixing will be limited to meeting one other person in an outdoor space. The new rules have already come into effect from midnight on Saturday. Also, Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon says travel between Scotland and the rest of the UK would be banned. She said that they simply cannot risk more than this new strain entering the country. And in Italy will be placed under nationwide lockdown for much of the Christmas and New Year holiday. Prime Minister Conte has announced, even as the government looks to prevent a fresh surge in coronavirus cases. Earlier, Germany, France, Italy and 5 other European states announced they would coordinate the start of their COVID-19 vaccinations. Italy is set to receive an initial 1.83 million shots from Pfizer. People in France could start receiving the COVID-19 vaccines developed by Pfizer and BioNTech in the last week of December if EU authorities approve it next week, as announced by French Prime Minister. French Prime Minister told Parliament that the vaccine campaign in France would then be stepped up in January, with the elderly and other more vulnerable groups coming first in the queue. Castex also said that France has already pre-ordered 2,000 million doses of COVID vaccines. France is hoping to administer COVID vaccines to around 1 million people in nursing homes in January and February, and also then a further 14 to 15 million people in wider population between March and June. And from Italy, moving on to Spain, where hundreds of people braved 2.5-hour wait in Madrid on Saturday to queue to buy tickets for Spain's Christmas lottery at a vendor considered the luckiest in Spain. Security guards ensured people respected social distancing in the long queue outside Dona Monalita, which is a central Madrid kiosk that has been selling lottery tickets for more than 100 years. This year, the popular tradition is bringing some much needed hope to many Spaniards who have endured some of the toughest lockdown restrictions and highest coronavirus tolls in Europe. Madrid regional authorities on Friday announced they would tighten Christmas restrictions, cutting down the people who would meet up from 10 to 6. Spain's Christmas lottery, known as El Gordo or the Fat One, dates back to 1812 and is a major event in the festive calendar. Israel kicked off a coronavirus vaccination drive on Saturday, with their Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu getting the country's first injection in a live telecast. Shipments of the Pfizer vaccines began arriving in Israel last week. Moderna and AstraZeneca vaccines are on order there. Israel expects to have enough doses by the year end for the 20% of its population most prone to COVID-19 complications. Netanyahu said he was being vaccinated first in order to encourage others. With the procedure at the medical center over, Netanyahu paraphrased astronaut Neil Armstrong's first words on the moon. He said, and I quote, "That was a small jab for a man, a huge step for the health of us all," unquote. And Mexico City and the other neighboring states of Mexico are suspending non-essential activities due to surge of coronavirus infections and death that is quickly saturating hospitals. The suspension has taken effect on Saturday and will last through 10th of January. The temporary suspension was aimed at limiting people congregating and traveling, which would help reduce contagion. Despite the warnings, Mexico City and adjacent state of Mexico, home to over 20 million residents, have witnessed frenzied holiday shopping, with people flooding shopping districts, buying Christmas gifts from street vendors and waiting in long lines to enter stores. Well, United States has added dozens of Chinese companies, including drone manufacturer DJI Technology Limited, to a trade blacklist. Drone maker DJI is the latest Chinese firm to be added to a U.S. trade blacklist. The entity list is drawn up by the U.S. Department of Commerce and has already included more than 275 China-based firms, including telecom giants Huawei. Meanwhile, Chinese drone maker DJI has responded to news and has said its products will remain on sale despite the move. Company says customers in America can continue to buy the used DJI products normally. Latest on the Brexit trade talks, which headed into a decisive weekend, with neither side confident of a deal, with a frantic 24-hour exposed just how far apart the UK and European Union still are on an issue that's hampered the talks since March. With the two sides at odds over access to UK fishing waters and quota levels, EU's negotiator says the moment of truth had arrived and there were only a few hours left to seal the deal. Thousands of Armenians marched through the capital, Yerevan, on Saturday to commemorate the soldiers killed in a 6-week-long conflict over the Nagorno-Karabakh region, in which Azerbaijan made significant territorial gains. The conflict and the fatalities on the Armenian side have increased pressure on Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, whom the opposition accuses of mishandling the conflict by accepting a Russian-brokered ceasefire last month, to resign. Pashinyan led the march held on the first of 3 days of mourning, driving up to the Yerevan military cemetery to light incense on the graves of fallen soldiers along with other senior officials. Armenia's opposition has called on its supporters to join in national strike on December 22nd at the end of the 3-day mourning period to pressure Pashinyan to resign over the losses incurred in the conflict over Nagorno-Karabakh. In Turkey, at least 9 people have died in a fire which broke out in a private hospital's COVID-19 intensive care unit in southeastern province of Gaziantep on Saturday. The fire was caused by the explosion of an oxygen ventilator, as confirmed by the local governorship in the statement, adding that other patients receiving treatment were transferred to the nearby hospitals. 2 prosecutors in the province have been commissioned to investigate the cause of explosion. And some good news coming from boxing ring. Indian ace pugilist and world silver medalist Amit Pangal has notched up a gold medal at the Cologne World Cup in Germany on Saturday without having to fight his final bout in 52 kg category. Amit Pangal was given a walkover by the opponent, the German boxer Agishti Teterian. Meanwhile, in women's bout, Simranjeet Kaur won the women's 60 kg final as she defeated Germany's Maya Lenans by 4-1 scoreline. Manisha Mohan defeated Sakshi in the final 3-2. India won 9 medals, including 3 golds, 2 silver, 4 bronze at Germany World Cup. Tiger Woods and his 11-year-old son Charlie are 4 shots off the lead after the first round of the 2-day exhibition event in Florida. Team Woods opened the PGA Championship with a 10 under par 62 that left them in a share of 6th place. Charlie Woods eagled the par 5 third on his own, the only player on the day to do so in the scramble format. He's the youngest competitor in the tournament's 25-year-old history. Team Woods are making their first appearance at the relaxed end of the season event in Orlando and were 8 under par after 9 holes before a cooler back 9. Event is restricted to major champions playing with a family member of their choosing. And in English Premier League football match, Liverpool beat Crystal Palace 7-love with 2 goals from Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino. Salah played a key role in giving the team a big win by scoring 2 goals within just 3 minutes of the game. And with this win, Liverpool have consolidated the top spot at the Premier League point table. And in another Premier League match, Manchester City defeated Southampton by a lone goal. Sterling scored only goal for the City in the 16th minute of the game. With 16 points from 13 matches, Manchester City is still in 6th place while Southampton retained 5th position. Well, staying with football, in Spanish La Liga, Lionel Messi equaled Brazil legend Pele's record of 643 goals for a single club by scoring for Barcelona in Saturday's draw against Valencia. The Argentine achieved the feat with a diving header just before half-time, immediately after his penalty was saved by keeper Jaume Dominic. Messi scored his first goal for the Barca in 2005 against Albacete. Pele scored 643 goals in 19 seasons for Brazilian side Santos between 1956 and 1974. Sadly for Messi, his celebrations will likely be muted after Barcelona failed to beat their mid-table opponents. The result leaves the 26-time champions 5th in La Liga, 8 points behind Atletico Madrid, who earlier defeated Elche 3-1 to move to 29 points. And southern Italian city of Naples honoured soccer legend Diego Maradona by illuminating the walls of its waterfront castle, Castle del Ovo, with an animation of 100 pictures of the late Argentine legend. Maradona came to Naples, a city drenched in sun and superstition, in 1984 when he was just 23, achieving a godlike status in the Italian city, where he played some of the most sublime soccer games. The Argentine left Naples almost 30 years ago. And with that, it's time to wrap up this newscast. On the other side, news in Hindi. Stay with us.